It's all good. We'll just pick it up from where we at. All right, well, now we should be able to. I'm sorry, y'all. Just give me a quick second. I'm trying to get a participant. And fortunately, she wasn't able to get on, so she showed us that we wasn't on. There we go. We on now.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to the page, tell her she can go to the page, to Israel Church of Jesus Atlanta page. Now, I was gonna send it to her, but I'll let her. She should be able to get it from there. If she can't find it, let me know.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that, y'all. So in chapter 5, it says, "For every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men and things pertaining to God, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sin. Who can have compassion on the ignorant?" So basically, it's just getting into the fact of, well, when you had these high priests, they was on one level, but Jesus, so this whole book of Hebrews is we're gonna run through a little more. Let's skip over to verse 5.
So also Christ glorified not himself to be made an high priest, but he that said unto him, Thou art my son. Today have I begotten.
So he was saying Christ didn't even make himself the high priest, but God made him the high priest. Like, this didn't even have nothing to do with him. Go ahead. He said, and he told him, "You gonna be today, thou art my son. Today have I begotten thee." Go ahead.
As he said also in another place, Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Then he said, and then he had told him in another place, "You a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek." And he said, after the order of Melchizedek, he said, not in the order of Aaron, which you just the high priest. He said, you order in the order of Melchizedek, because the order of Melchizedek is you both king and high priest. So he's telling you a better type of priest than what was given before. All right, but go ahead, read some more.
Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying.
Okay, I'm gonna have us read all that. All right, so let's now let's go over to chapter 7. Go ahead.
For this Melchizedek.
So now what we're doing now is he breaking down what Melchizedek is all about. So he's still expounding to the Hebrews, that's what the book is written to, about this new priest. You see? So then he gets into chapter 8, where he starts talking about let's do a little bit of 8. Go ahead, verse 1, chapter 8, verse 1.
Now of the things which we have spoken, this is the Son. We have such an high priest.
You see what he just said? Of the things which he has spoken. We're talking about from chapter 1 through 7. This is the sum of it. This is what we was concluding at now. We have such a high priest. Go ahead.
We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of majesty.
Right. We don't deal with Levi no more. This is what this book is about. He said we got such a high priest who done went back up to be on the right hand of the Father. Then in the chapter 8 and in chapter 9, they start breaking down the differences of the old priesthood and how the old priesthood had this. And the purpose in chapter 8, he's showing you, we got a new covenant, not the old covenant. This is in this whole good Hebrew is strictly dealing with priesthood. See, part of the problem that we get and why we don't see it this well sometimes is because we have been told that things like Galatians and Romans and Ephesians, that they need to be informed about priesthood and stuff. He wasn't saying nothing about priesthood to them. They had no priesthood before. Unless you want to talk about their priesthood to Delphi or whatever God they was dealing with. But we took their gods away from them completely. So we ain't got to deal with them on priesthood. We deal with priesthood to the Hebrew. And that's what we see here. That's why in chapter 7, we read this in class today. He said, he said in verse chapter 7, verse 14, he said, "For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning the priesthood. And it is yet far more evidence for that after the similitude of Melchizedek there arises another priest, who is made not after the law." I'm looking for where he said, verse 19, "For the law made nothing perfect." The Levitical law. This is him breaking it all down. It didn't make nothing straight, nothing right, nothing good. This is what Hebrews is about. Then we get over here to Hebrews chapter 11. We're going to skip 10. 10 got good stuff in there. We're going to skip that. We get to chapter 11. He still bring it back to the Hebrews to faith. He let them know, like, in order for you to accept this new priesthood, in order for you to, walk in this newness now, you're going to need faith. because without faith it was impossible to please God. So he rolls all that into everything. And then go to read chapter 12, verse 1.
Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
So again, as we assume this is Paul, and if it is, he's motivating as he always does. And notice what he's saying. Wherefore, it's saying that we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. We done got all this information about our new priest. He say, let us lay aside every weight and sin which is doeth easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto who?
Jesus, the author, the finisher.
That's what this book of Hebrews is about. This book of Hebrews is explaining to all the Hebrews that didn't comprehend before what Jesus is about. He was the author and the finisher of our faith. He goes off into that. So, you know, that's what Hebrews is about. Hebrews is showing them we got a new priest now. So we don't do that old stuff. And so that message and that gospel was taught not only from the writer of Hebrews, but from all the apostles. This is what they taught. They really, Jesus started explaining it to them when he resurrected, because he told them he was expounding upon himself out of the law of Moses and out of prophets. And the prophets is where you find, you know, that he was anointed. You know what I'm saying? And that you find sit down at my right hand, to make thy enemies thy footstool. You know, thou shalt rule in the midst of thy enemies. You know, thou shalt be a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. And the prophets is where we found in Zechariah, what was we at, chapter 6 today, when he was saying, you know, he was going basically showing us he was going to be king and priest. You know, so that's where we find that stuff. So Jesus didn't need to go to the New Testament to expound upon what his role was. It was in the prophets that we see that the sacrifices and oblations was going to cease, you know, in the midst of the week. So he can show him all of this and show him he's the high priest, you know. So hopefully that help us see that a little more clear. Any more questions and or comments? Go ahead, brother Marcus.
Hey, that Genesis 1.
Yes, sir. Something we can deal with. Genesis 1.
Genesis 1 too, like who?
Yeah.
Who is I know like who is this talking? Like
start at verse 1. Go ahead. Start at verse 1. The question is in Genesis chapter 1, verse 3, who is this talking? Go ahead.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Uh-huh.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
Go ahead.
And God said, let there be light, and there was light.
All right, so God said, let there be light, and there was light, right? Let's go to Colossians chapter 1. Because his question is, who is that God that's talking? And I would guess you're asking, is that the Father or the Son, right? Right? Well, I would say this much, first of all, that first of all, this ain't a real-time story. Right. That's what we got to really comprehend. So God or the Son is telling the story to Moses. You know, that's the first thing we want to get in our head. You know what I'm saying? But who said, let there be light? It's better your question, right? All right, so let's go to Colossians chapter 1, and let's start reading at verse 15.
Who is the image of the invisible God?
So the image, who is the image of the invisible God? Okay, so we talking about Jesus here, right? Okay, go ahead.
The firstborn of every creature.
Why is he the firstborn of every creature? Right. It's Brother DeMarcus the only one who know the answers. Yeah, I know y'all be thinking sometimes the questions don't seem like they looking for an answer, but they are. But right here, like he said, he's the first one that was resurrected from the grave. All right, so this is why he's the firstborn of every creature. Go ahead.
For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in the earth.
So who we talking about? We've been talking about one for Jesus, right? So then that's what we still talking about, right? Read that verse again, 16.
For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in the earth, visible and invisible.
Go ahead.
Whether there be thrones or dominions, or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him.
Go ahead.
And he is before all things, and by him all things consist.
To answer your question, not really.
I wanted to make sure I was explaining it right.
Well, when I say because the only thing that could still be catch is when you read the verse, he say it says, go back to Genesis 1. He said, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from darkness. You know, so maybe somebody could try to play with it and say, well, just because God said don't mean he created. But this creation here is the Father and the Son, period. You understand what I'm saying? Because even this light here, we dealing with what God gonna do. You know what I'm saying? What God gonna do. Them together, period. So when you start dealing with the Father, this is them holding their conversation. For us, this is the Son working. You follow what I'm saying? But they hold this conversation, and God said, let there be light. You know, this is a conversation between them two. Right, right, exactly. Like you're saying, that's the counsel they took together. Right, that's the Godhead, right. You know what I'm saying? So it goes deeper than let us, and God said, let there be light. It goes deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Meaning it wasn't like, oh, okay, so let there be light, and then there was light. You see what I'm saying? It was a whole council taking place. With them, they held a conversation, and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he called it day. But we see that the credit to the creation is given to the Son. You see what I'm saying? So that's all we got to worry about. You know what I'm saying? That's the only God that we really ever dealt with. But God, it's only one God, though. You follow what I'm saying? So when you deal with the Father, exactly. So when you see the works of the Son, you see the works of the Father. So you know what I mean? So it's kind of like asking. It's kind of like if Brother Nate come in and clean the yard. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we just gonna give you your company name. You know, Nathan's Landscape. You know what I'm saying? So you know, when you say Nathan Landscape did it, little Nate can say, well, we came over there and we cut the grass. You know, so I came over there. Or he could talk to one of his buddies and be like, yeah, you know, I had to go to work today. I had to cut this lady yard, even though it was him and his dad. But he would be telling just the truth. You see what I'm saying? Because they work together. This is a team. You know what I'm saying? That's the proper way of a team. You follow me? So to say, you know, there ain't no big eyes and big eyes and little me in this team. You know what I'm saying? It's just let us do this. Because you notice it say let us anyway. You know what I'm saying? Let us make man. So it was both of them working. But you know, the order of the rank is the Father to the Son to the angel. That's the rank we got. So I don't know if that really answered your question, but I think I answered your question, then turned around and threw you off balance, huh?
Nah, you did.
All right, praise the Lord. Yeah. Because here's the thing, it's so much depth to it that just when you think you know, that's when you realize you don't really know. That's where I really be going with that. So it's kind of like one of the questions you're gonna really have to ask God. Like, so who did what exactly? Go ahead, Brother R.
All right, so since we're here,
Yes, since we're here.
I've heard, and I just want to maybe if you can clarify. When the Lord was creating during the creation period, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he actually the one doing it, or did he have spirits out there working, building the earth, you know, all these? What was going on?
That's a fair question.
I mean, I know he's.
I don't know.
I mean, he commanded that to be done.
I don't know. Let's read verse 1 again, dog. We could go by what we see, because I see what you say. You say, was it by his hand?
Right. Was it by his hand, or did he have the spirits? Because I know one scripture says, "Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water."
But that's what we're gonna read.
Oh.
Yeah, they did this work. The angels did the work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like when you start looking at it, because that's what we're gonna read. The Spirit of God. Like when you start like the angels, they hold back the winds. The angels work for God. So they doing all the work. You know what I'm saying? Like God don't have to sit down here and grab Adam, and you know he wasn't sitting there playing his dirt. You know what I'm saying? He got angels that do that. So yeah, I was just gonna read. That's what we can go ahead and read that though. Let's read Genesis. Start at verse 1.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water.
So the Spirit of God, we got here, his angels moving upon the face of the water. Read some more.
And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
All right, so now let's go over to Psalms 103. Psalms 103. While we're here, I thought that was kind of smooth too when we went to that Psalm 110 today, and how we was in Psalm 109. Brother Nate was pulling out in that class today. How we was in Psalm 109. It was like, you know, the son was talking to the father, then the father talked back to the son. But then if you go into Psalm 111, the very next chapter, it seemed like praise ye the Lord came behind all. You know what I'm saying? Like he was satisfied with his answer. But I just since we coming here, I'm just saying, like I was peeping that when he was delivering that today. But Psalms 103, and let's start this off in verse 17. Go ahead.
But the mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and his righteousness unto children's children.
Go ahead, praise the Lord. Go ahead.
To such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them. The Lord hath prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all.
Go ahead, verse 20.
Bless the Lord, ye his angels, that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening to the voice of his word.
So you see, the angels, they excel in strength. They do his commandment. They hearken to the words of his voice. So if it's, let's just hypothetically, me and him God, and we talking, and we like, well, you know, let's go ahead and divide the waters from the waters. You know what I'm saying? Like them angels only. Like, okay, so what that mean we gotta do, boss? You see what I'm saying? Because this is their job. Their job is to follow directions. That's why Satan and his third got put out of there ASAP. And Satan and his third pretty much got put out of there at that when you see and it was darkness upon the face of the deep. You know what I'm saying? That's when Satan and his third ran from up out of there. You see what I'm saying?
Describing him.
Yeah. Right. And what took place with them. Right.
What took place.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then let there be light is the plan for your salvation. You see what I'm saying? With Jesus being the light.
Yeah, because it'd be detrimental now because woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Exactly. Exactly.
I just got something to back it up. When we were talking about the spirits,
Mm-hmm.
Zechariah chapter 4.
All right. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're going with.
So you got it, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's talking. This is here talking about and Bowie wrote a book called The Four Winds of Heaven, and this is where we see that here. You also see it in the New Testament too. With Zechariah chapter 4.
How the spirit's gonna be building the temple when we get back. Just kind of backing up how who was doing the creation in the beginning with, showing how when Zerubbabel get back, the seven spirits of God are gonna be helping him build the temple.
Mm-hmm.
So picking back up where they probably left off in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. Okay, let's start at verse 4, I guess. Yeah, start at 4. What you said, 10?
No, 4.
No.
Oh, okay.
So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, What are these, my Lord? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. So
right now we in the time when the Lord is returning, and Zerubbabel is going to be the one that's, as we were saying, that's going to build this temple when the Lord come back. Go ahead, read some more.
Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shouting, crying, grace unto it. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. His hands shall also finish it, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts has sent me unto you. For who have despised is they of small things? For they shall rejoice, shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel. So
what's the plummet? That thing that can be hanging down and it's like a yeah, right, yeah. That's so basically it's a construction tool. No, not a lever though. No. It go down and then it seems like it got like a little weight at the bottom of it or something like that. And then, but it's determined if something is right. You can put it in the mindset of a level, but it's not a level though. You know what I'm saying? Like the level is generally rectangular with the yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's construction too. Well, go ahead.
With those 7, they are the eyes of the Lord. Which
So it said, for who have despised the day of small things, that they shall rejoice and see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7. So it's like these 7 are the angels. So you see here the temple is being redid by Zerubbabel and the angels. But go ahead.
They are the eyes of the Lord, which run to the end fro through the whole earth.
Which run where now?
Which run to and fro through the whole earth.
Right, so they've been here doing their job. But let's go over the Revelations. And we'll see here, because this was the one I was referring to. We was gonna get here. Revelations chapter chapter 1. Revelation chapter 7, I'm sorry. Because like when you look at the actual creation, like for example, when he say let the waters be divided from the waters under the, let the firmament come in and move, the waters from above to below, right? So if you was to be creatively thinking, you would pretty much feel like that's wind that's making that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like like if we move the waters, if I took my hand and do a tank and move the waters, that would create a whirlwind or a wind. That's what that would create. You know what I'm saying? Like some pressure and stuff gonna take place for this to happen. All this movement, you're gonna feel it. You see what I'm saying? When the earth is on the ground and then you have to divide the waters from the dry land, the dry land appeared. Like that's all movement. If you look at that on the earth right now, you're gonna see movement. And one of the main characteristics of that movement you're gonna find is wind. All right. So now let's read this Revelation chapter 7, picking up at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead.
And after these things I saw 4 angels.
So now we got 4 angels here. And watch what these 4 angels is doing. Go ahead.
I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth.
So now we got 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth. So I don't think that they just came to the corners of the earth. They've been at these corners. Okay, keep reading.
Holding the 4 winds of the earth. And
you see what they doing? They holding the 4 winds of the earth. So it wasn't like, this ain't Hercules and Atlas, where, Atlas gonna trick Hercules into holding up the earth and vice versa. Like this been their job. They've been holding the 4 winds of the earth back. Go ahead.
That the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
So, just to show here, like this is what the angels do. You got a numerable amount of angels. And you got to look from the creation to today, only been about, in their time period, that's like 11 days. So it's like they just been holding down the wind, for like 11 days. So that ain't even that long. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't even a month worth of work. You follow what I'm saying? So it's not like, because we'll get so puny in our mind, like you tell me they've been there just for 1,000 years, just holding back the wind. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't even on that level. You know what I'm saying? They'll sit there a whole lot longer if the Lord tells them. But yeah, we got angels. That's their job. Their job is to hold the wind. Their job is to control the waters, whatever the case may be, because it's an innumerable amount. So hopefully that will clear that part up.
Yeah.
All right. So we learned that God, Jesus is the God that we're dealing with the creation, and we learned that the angels are the operators of the creation. Brother Paul.
Yeah, could you explain to me in Lamentations 5, verse 4, what that verse is saying?
Lamentations chapter 5, verse 4?
Yeah.
All right, that'll work. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I got my thing. Yeah, Lamentations is a book about basically Jeremiah lamenting over the children of Israel going into captivity. Excuse me. They lamented about children of Israel going into captivity. You know, Israel was a great nation. You know, we had great kings. And, you know, our renown was, you know, definitely what we would know as a worldwide scale at the time. You know, you had people coming from all over the lands to go hear Solomon and his wisdom. You know, so, you know, at that particular time, we was a world power. And now we going into captivity to this feeble nation, really to a new nation. And they wasn't even no original nation to rule that particular land. You know.
So Brother Jedediah, could you
Go ahead.
Jedediah, could you say that Lamentation is about the condition of the people?
Well, it's about us going into the captivity, and yes, it's about us going into captivity. We under a particular condition, yeah. Yes, absolutely. You know, let's start at Lamentations chapter 5, verse 1.
Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our house is to aliens.
And so he's talking about Israel. So our inheritance is turned over. Somebody else gonna get the land of Israel, and somebody else gonna have our homes. Go ahead. This is our reproach. He said, consider and behold our reproach. Go ahead.
We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
So and we could look at this on an individual level, but the reality is he's talking about Israel as a whole. He's saying like we orphans and fatherless now. You know, our mothers are widows now. But go ahead, verse 4.
We have drunken our water with money.
For money.
Oh, for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have not rest.
Go ahead.
We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread.
So really, he just making a comparison of our affliction, and he's saying we have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Like he's just saying we ain't got nothing no more. So you can take it on a literal level, you know what I'm saying? But the reality is he's referring to this whole nation, you know what I'm saying, who has something. He like, sure, we done got so bad now, you know, we drunken our water for money. You know what I'm saying? Like it done got so bad. We had all our own water sitting right there about in the midst of the Mediterranean. He like, man, now you ain't got nothing. You know, you ain't got no, you know, you drunk your water for money, you sold the wood is sold unto us now, like, you know, we chopping down our own trees and like we have nothing. Is really what he getting at. Then he telling you why, verse 7, our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. So he just explaining like this is why we down to nothing now. You know, you was on high and now you down to zero. This is our reproach that we supposed to be considering for verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our house to aliens. We are orphans, fathers, our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to the Egyptian and to the Assyrian to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are not. We have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There's none that doeth deliver us out of their hand. And so and that takes us all the way even to this day though. You know, because we still under that same captivity that we went in from Babylon at this particular point that Jeremiah was under. So hopefully that kind of cleared it up a bit there.
Thank you.
Oh, man, praise the Lord. Questions, comments?
I have one.
Go ahead, sister. I'm gonna get to you now, Sean. No question. You used to have a question. What happened?
I have a coworker, and I'm trying to see if he know about the Sabbath day, but he wears the fringes. And I was trying to explain to him, or how can I explain to him that we don't have to do that anymore?
Right.
So how do I explain?
I generally don't. To someone who wants to wear fringes, I just don't, because it's an argument that you probably won't win. But I can show you a few scriptures on the lack of necessity to wear them. First person I just want us to think of though right now is, can anybody besides Brother Nate and Brother DeMarcus tell me who the greatest prophet was?
John.
Can anybody tell me what John the Baptist wore? Camel skin. Don't sound like he had on bread to do. So just something to just quickly put in your mind. You know what I'm saying? But let's go over to Hebrews chapter 9 first. This is where we'll start this at. And we'll end up in what is it, Numbers? Deuteronomy? We'll end up there at the commandments. What, Numbers 15?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, talking about what he said we're afraid. Yeah.
When they killed brother, the breaking the Sabbath.
I'm talking about when they say we're friends.
When the brother got killed, the breaking the Sabbath, the Lord told the friend of him.
Oh, yeah, that's he was saying Numbers 15. That's what we're gonna end up. We're gonna start at Hebrews 9 though. And we're gonna look at a couple of things. You know, when you say what, like I say, you can wear fringes if you want to. Well, we're gonna find out that it was a commandment telling you to remember the commandments.
Right, I told him that.
Right.
I said the fringes were there to remind you to keep the commandments.
Yeah. So that's strictly on you. I mean, if you need the commandments I can show you another commandment. I can show you another commandment also that tells you to keep the commandments, which is put it on your doorpost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so if I come to your house and I see the commandments on your doorpost, cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not that you're doing nothing wrong, but I'm not sinning if I don't put the commandments on my doorpost. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sinning. Especially if I'm sinning if I go steal. You see what I'm saying? If I go commit adultery. But by me not putting the commandments on my doorpost, I don't need it to remind me to keep the commandments. As what I say, maybe they do though. You know. But we'll look at some of this Hebrews chapter 9, and we'll start in verse 1. Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 1. We'll try to keep this one short. Go ahead.
Then verily the first covenant had also ordinance of divine service and a worldly sanctuary.
So the first covenant that we dealt with had a worldly sanctuary, which is where all this stuff took place. The tabernacle, the tent of tabernacle, the holiest of holy, all this was in that worldly sanctuary. Then it said, and it had the ordinance of divine services and a worldly sanctuary. Go ahead, read verse 2.
For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick and the table and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. All
right, so it goes on in this chapter to show you about that particular first, what was going on in that first sanctuary. We're gonna skip down to verse 6. Go ahead.
Now, when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of God. But unto the second went the high priest alone once every year.
So it's just explaining how the priest, how they operated in that. The priest went into the tabernacle, and the high priest went into the holiest of holy once a year. But let's skip down to verse 9.
Which was a figure for the time then present.
So at that particular time, it was a figure. Go ahead.
In which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make him that did the service perfect, as pertaining to the conscience.
So he's saying the things that they did never really made you perfect under that first covenant that we was under, pertaining to conscience. But verse 10, here's the key here. Go ahead.
Which stood only in meats and drinks and diverse washing and carnal ordinance.
So he said the things that was done under that first covenant, which stood only in meats and drinks and divers washings. They did all kind of stuff back then. They had to wash certain things certain ways. It said, and carnal ordinance. That's what carnal ordinance is, the way it fringes. That's a fleshly ordinance. It said, imposed on them until the time of Reformation. Imposed on them until Christ, the Reformation of the priesthood. Okay, that's what we're talking about in this chapter. So really, when you start talking about do we have to wear them, Hebrews 9 shows us clearly we don't have to wear them. You see, that's the whole thing. That was done under that's kind of going back to wearing your head covering and whatnot. They covered their heads. You see what I'm saying? They did things under the first priesthood completely different than how we doing now. Those things were imposed on them until the time of Reformation. All right. So now let's go back to and obviously it wasn't to the point of life or death, because John the Baptist would never have been called the greatest prophet if he was supposed to be wearing fringes and didn't. So even then, did they really have to wear them? Do you see Samson talking about his fringes? You know what I'm saying? When you start dealing with people, when you start really looking at the lifestyle of these prophets, you begin to wonder, like, dang, what were they really wearing? You know, who was wearing fringes? And then the question is, when do I wear my fringes? What, I put them on when I go to bed? I mean, when I wake up in the morning, just when I go to work, or do I got to walk around the house with my fringes on too? Or what about in the tub? Do I take my fringes in the? I mean, you know, at some point you start getting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At some point, like, you know, what is the action? What is it's too vague for this to be life or death. You see what I'm saying? It's too vague for that. You know, because like, sure, brother calls to my house, knock on the door, hey, how you doing, bro? Where your friend is at? What you mean where my friend is at, man? I'm just at the crib. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know I had to put them on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too vague for us to get a clarity. So what, you just wear them up in here? I mean, really? So what you gonna tell me you just want to remember the commandments when you come to class? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, that's a bit much. Let's go to Matthew 23 first. I'm gonna show you these scribes and these Pharisees. You know, this is where we at today. You start looking at where, and this, you know, it's more about you getting the level of understanding when you start to, you're not gonna really be able to convince. You might just show them Hebrews 9, maybe they'll see it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I doubt it. You really got to start comprehending the whole value of the priesthood. You know what I'm saying? To really get a comprehension of, oh, I don't really need to put the law on my doorpost now. But then again, you go to my house, before you walk in the house, I'm gonna tell you, pray Satan outside. It's a sign right there at my door. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. Now, do you need that to remember? No, you don't need it. You should have known anyway. But at the same time, though, it's a nice, friendly reminder. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it can serve its purpose. Like, I saw a brother at the store one day, and he had on his fringes. You know what I was saying? Oh, so I see you got your fringes on, bro. Shalom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just basically let him know I'm on what you on. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Like, so if we gonna, you know, it's like wearing a gay flag at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, I'm rolling Israelites, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Throwing up gang signs, like, yeah, Israel flag, baby. You know, that's really what you're doing at this particular point when you rocking or when you wearing the fringes. Yeah, he got a nice little ride ahead of him. Got that hour joint. Good to see you. Hopefully we see you next week, bro. Mm-hmm. Matthew 23, and let's pick this up at verse. Let's pick this up at verse 23. We're just gonna jump to it.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye
Matthew 23 and 23. Okay, go ahead.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone.
So he talked to these scribes and these Pharisees, and he like, look, man, you know, y'all go all out to do some of these little small things that almost have no relevance. Tithe of the mint and these coming, but you didn't omitted the weightier matters of the law, which is mercy, faith. He said, now you should have did that other stuff, but you shouldn't have left this stuff undone. But keep reading. Watch what else he's gonna say. Go ahead.
Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye may clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, within they are full of extortion and access. Mm-hmm. Thou blind Pharisees, clean first that which is within the cup and platter, and that the outside of them may be clean also.
Go ahead, read more.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye are like unto white white sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones.
Okay, let's go back up to verse 3. Sorry. This is really what I was looking for. So the whole time he reading, I'm reading too, trying to find what I'm looking for. But this is what we're looking for. Go ahead.
Or therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not.
So we're talking about the Pharisees here. He said, whatever they tell you to do, go and do it. He said, but don't observe their works, because they say, but they don't really do. Now watch what he say got here next. Go ahead.
For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them.
All right, let's get down to verse 5.
For all their works they do for to be seen of men.
So notice what he said in verse 5. He said, but everything these Pharisees and these scribes are doing, he said they're doing it to be seen of men. Go ahead.
They make broad their
phylacteries
and enlarge their borders of their garments.
Right, he's saying he talking about the scribes and the Pharisees. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge their garments. So we talking about fringes. That's where your phylacteries and stuff are, on the bottom of your clothes. And so with that being said, you know, who are you most imitating here when you decide that you want to wear the blue fringes? You know, are you more imitating, you know, the Lord, or are you more imitating the scribes and the Pharisees? But let's go over here to this Old Testament though. Give me 1 second here. We go to Numbers 15 first. I think that's what we want. Numbers 15. But I really want to show one other thing in the Old Testament. I'll find it shortly. But Numbers chapter 15, I think that's what we want. And this is where you read the commandment. And we're going to read the commandment on wearing fringes. Verse 30. Start at verse 36. Numbers chapter 15 verse 36. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, start at 36. You're right. Go ahead.
And all the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel.
So notice here, what really happened was this is where he starts talking about my man picking up sticks, and he got stoned for picking up sticks on the Sabbath day. All right, that's what happened. So now he's saying, well, speaking to the children of Israel, after they stoned them, and tell them this. Go ahead.
Bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So he said, bid or ask them to make fringes in of their garments, right? Go ahead.
Throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue, and it shall be unto you for a fringe.
So he's saying, look, he said, and the Lord spake to Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, ask them, or bid, that's what bid means, ask them, that they make fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generation, that they put them upon the fringes of their borders, a ribbon of blue. Go ahead.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments.
So this is the point of the fringes to be on you, is for you to remember the commandments. So that's why I say, well, I wouldn't even say to you, you want to wear your fringes, you go right on ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe you need some help to to remember the commandments. Maybe, but remember, at the same time, see how the scribes and Pharisees are, they do stuff to be seen of men. So the question is, are you doing this to help yourself, or do you want other people to see that you did? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing this for me, oh, well, I don't need it. But if you're doing it for you, I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to wear the fringes, because maybe that's going to save your life. We're supposed to be learning to get the commandments in our heart and in our mind. That's what we're supposed to be learning to get them at. But let's go over here to Deuteronomy though, because I want to show something else. Deuteronomy chapter 11. Next book over, Deuteronomy 11. And we're going to start at verse 16. Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 16. So when you get there, you can go ahead and read.
Take heed to yourselves, that your heart be not deceived, and ye turn aside, and serve other gods, and worship them. And then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven, and there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, unless ye perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you.
Go ahead.
Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, and that they may be a frontlets between your eyes.
Let's read this again, verse 16. He said, "Take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived, and you turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. And then the Lord's wrath will be kindled against you. And he shut up the heavens, that there be no rain, that the land yield not her fruit, lest ye perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you. Therefore shall you lay up these words in your heart and in your soul." So he's saying, what I just told you, you need to put this in your heart and your soul, right? Then he said, and bind them for a sign upon your hand. So he's telling you here, you're supposed to have some type of, this word is supposed to be some sign on your hand, all right? Now you can take this the wrong way too. We're gonna keep reading, that they may be frontlets between your eyes. So really he's telling them, keep this stuff in your head. That's what he's telling you right here. But you could take this the wrong way if you choose. But watch what he say next. Go ahead.
And you shall teach them your children,
speaking
unto them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, and when thou restest up.
Now watch verse 20. Go ahead. He's still talking about the law. Watch what he say here.
And thou shalt write them upon thy doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates.
Go ahead.
That your days may be multiplied in the days of your children, in the land which the Lord swore unto your fathers to give them, as the days of the heaven upon earth. So
we can even do this then. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody say, well, brother, you supposed to be an Israelite, where your fringes? Now, I can just turn around and be like, so you got the law written on your doorpost, I guess, at your house. Like really, it's on your doorpost. And chances are it's not. I haven't walked to anybody's house yet. And that ain't to say that nobody has really did it, but I have yet to walk to anybody's house and they had the law on their doorpost. That means that when you get there, when you go sit like this, I mean the law should be written there and over. I don't see that at nobody's house.
I think I asked him, I said, so is it written on your doorpost also?
Right.
And he was like,
yeah, he ain't want to really answer that. Like, yeah, I got my fringes on, But to really answer your question, Hebrews 9 is explaining to you that that stuff, them carnal ordinances was for a time, But at the same time, even when you read it in itself, it's not. It's just telling you why I would wear these for a fringe, so that these will be a reminder to you, because we just had to kill somebody for not keeping the commandments. So I need to remind you to keep the commandments. You see what I'm saying? But we see here in Deuteronomy 11, we had another way of a reminder. You know what I'm saying? He was like on the doorpost, but before he got into putting it in your doorpost, he said, therefore you lay up these words in your heart and in your soul. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what's most important about it. And bind them upon your hand. He said, and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand. Talking about these commandments, that they may be as frontlets between. So that's what should be guiding you. So, long story short, that Hebrews 9 is my one scripture, that I will show you. But really, when you read the scripture, it's not telling you thou shalt wear fringes. He said, bid them, ask them to wear these fringes. I done had to kill somebody. I'm trying to save your life. I don't want to have to kill all of y'all for breaking these commandments. So that's what that's about. So there's no, there's no commandment to say that I'm commanded to wear fringes. That is where the real falsehood comes, is that I have to wear fringes. Right. So we got any other questions and or comments? Jake, you got nothing for me today, bro?
No, I'm just listening.
No doubt. Nothing wrong with that,
That's my earlier.
Oh yeah. What was your question?
Brother Nate, I was talking to him about.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you ain't got to fight. If I was in a private conversation, I'll let it stay private. Not worry about that. Any other questions and no comments?
This is something I was observing today. All right, so when they put the pastor on, we know they put him up on on the 10th day as far as the lamb go, right? Kill it on the 14th day. So we know Jesus being the Passover was killed on the Passover, right? And I was just thinking when you was talking earlier, when they went to go make ready the Passover, you know, I was trying to think, was it around like the same thing, the 10th day, getting a room and all that.
We'll hold that conversation later.
Let's just drive. Ain't nobody.
No, but we'll hold that one later.
Okay.
We'll go through the whole gamut.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll hold that one later. I understand your question, though.
Yeah.
Clearly. Huh? No.
But
We'll do that. But we'll look at the whole Exodus and what Jesus did. Just to me. Yeah. Any other questions and no comments though?
Yeah.
No, we don't have to have, we can close out. I mean, we can close out, pack up, and ready to go home. I'm just sitting here, you know, we got probably about a good 30, 40 more minutes before the sun goes down. By the time I get home, it'll be over with. So, I mean, no big deal. But, right, what I'm saying, so we don't have no more questions.
So here's my question.
Yeah, go ahead. Then you can ask him when you get home, man. Now, go ahead. Now, go ahead.
So we're not supposed to take our own pleasures on the Sabbath.
Okay.
Correct?
Correct.
So back in the day, when they used to drink wine and different things with their meals, if I drank some wine, now I ain't talking about trying to get drunk and all that craziness, or just pleasurably, socially. But would I be wrong for drinking some wine on the Sabbath?
First
Is
thing,
alcohol?
let's understand that the Lord calls us to be sober-minded.
Okay.
All right. So whether it's the Sabbath or not, if it's 10 minutes before the Sabbath, and I'm taking down shots of Crown Royal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not talking about.
Just follow me. If it's 10 minutes before the Sabbath, and I'm taking down shots of Crown Royal, and I'm about to walk into the Sabbath DUI, I'm defiling the Sabbath, even though I didn't take a drink on the Sabbath. You follow what I'm saying? So, and at the same time, let's go to Isaiah 58. At the same time, we understand what the commandment is saying, that you're not supposed to partake in your pleasures. Now, you know, I only drink during the feast, so I ain't got to worry about it personally. But some people drink wine, especially in other cultures, and it's just a part of their meal.
Right.
So I'm not gonna say, oh well, you know, you partaking in your pleasures. I will say the scriptures tell us alcohol or wine make the heart merry. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it can make you feel good, but you can be like, well, I'm about to go relax. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you about you know, what's your limit of a cooler. Like if I came to Brother Nate's house, it's not gonna happen. If I come to Brother Joseph's house, I ain't gonna use it. If I come to Brother Joseph's house and it's Friday evening and he just finished eating his, you know, chicken and whatever else, and he got a strawberry wine cooler that he pouring into his cup, you know, to finish it off. See, that might not do nothing to him. I can't say that that's his pleasure. I can't say that. All right. So therefore, you know, I'm not his judge. And that's the thing about it. Nowhere in the Bible does it say thou should not drink a wine on the Sabbath. So therefore, I'm not the judge of is that this brother pleasure or not. You know what I'm saying? Again, the scriptures tell us to be sober-minded. So, you know, if one cooler gonna have you acting kind of weird, then it's a no-no. You know what I'm saying? But so that's really to answer your question. But now let's go to the scriptures and let's see what this Isaiah 58 is talking about. And we're gonna start this 58 up a little higher, because I just saw this week some Israelites were trying to say that, you know, this pleasure is talking about the Day of Atonement. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, I see you. Y'all so good and studious. Y'all is like, what in the world? But we're gonna see why they're saying that you're not supposed to do your pleasure on atonement, but then on the regular side, you can do what you want to do. Yeah. Look here, man. I think this all started off with, can you use the microwave on Sabbath day? That's what I think. I think that's where the question started. And no, I take that back. That was another question. The question started with, can you go to your son's football game that you ain't, you know, it's a special event, so your son is playing in the football game, you go inside. That's the question. So they hit him with this scripture, and they like, well, you know, this is dealing with somebody else turned around and said that's the Day of Atonement. Like, nah, but we're gonna see where they was coming with that. All right. Psalm 58. Oh yeah, that's all. Yeah, only Hebrews deal with stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like your modern day, your Sunday Christians, whatever, they don't even touch this. This has no thought in their mind. But we're gonna start this off with verse 1. It's not a lot of verses, so we're gonna read them all. Go ahead.
Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob.
All right, so this is a blanket statement to the children of Israel. Show them what they done did wrong. Show them their transgressions. Go ahead.
Yet they seek me daily.
He's saying even though they seek me daily. Go ahead.
And delight to know my ways. As a nation that did righteousness and forsook not the ordinance of their God. He said they seek me, act like he said like a nation that did righteousness, that didn't forsake the. This is how Israel be coming at him. This is what he's saying right here. Go ahead. They ask of me the ordinance of justice, that take delight in approaching to God.
They take delight in approaching to God. He's talking about Israel, talking about us. But go ahead, verse 3.
Wherefore have we fasted, saying,
Same day, go ahead.
And thou seest not.
So we say, Lord, we fasted. Didn't you see it? Or you ain't see that. This is what that statement is making. Go ahead.
Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge.
Right. He said, we afflicted our soul, and you ain't taking no knowledge. But go ahead. Watch what he said. Watch what the Lord respond to them is. Go ahead.
Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure, and exact all your labor.
So he's not talking about in the day of atonement. He's saying the days that you do your fasting, that you exact your pleasures and do all your labors on these particular days. Go ahead.
Behold, ye fast for strife and debate.
He's saying you be fasting for strife and debate. Go ahead.
And to smite with the fist of wickedness.
Ye
shall not fast as ye do this day.
He's saying don't do it for that. That's what he's telling you. Go ahead.
To make your voice to be heard on high.
Right. Go ahead.
It is much a
fast. Is it such a fast that I have chosen? Question. Go ahead.
A day for a man to afflict his soul.
So one thing we do learn here is that fasting and afflicting your soul run hand in hand. Keep reading.
Is it to bow down his head as a
bulrush? Go ahead.
And to spread sackcloth and ashes under him.
Wilt
thou call this a fast and an acceptable day to the Lord?
Go ahead.
Is not this the fast that I have chosen?
So he's saying, look, with this fast, is this not the fast that the Lord chose? He's not talking about the atonement. He's talking about in this capacity of how we fast. Watch what he says next. Go ahead.
To loose the bands of wickedness.
Right. So like when you fast and you're supposed to be loosing the bands of the wicked. He's now telling you what's your point in fasting? When you fast, you're trying to loose the bands of the wickedness. Go ahead.
To undo the heavy burdens.
Right. Go ahead.
And to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke. So at first he was showing us why we fast. Now he's showing you why you need to fast. Read some more. Is it not the deal thou bread to the hungry? This is how I know for sure this ain't talking about the Day of Atonement, because we ain't dealing the bread to the hungry on the Day of Atonement. See, if you don't afflict your soul and you in Israel on the Day of Atonement, you die. So you had to be hungry another day. Okay, but read some more. Go ahead. And that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house. So this is what he said. He's saying you fast for this reason, and I'm saying this is why you need to be fast. All right, go ahead, read some more. When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh. Go ahead. Then shall they light break forth. So he's saying if you do this, then your light gonna break forth. If you can fast for the reasons he's telling you to fast and not for the reasons that you're doing. Go ahead. And health shall spring forth speedily. And their righteousness shall go forth before you. So he's saying then your righteousness will go forth if you fast for a proper reason. Verse 9. Then shalt thou call, and the Lord shall answer. So he said, now when you call, the Lord will answer. So in this, see, because what has happened is they have taken this Isaiah 58 and they've tried to say when it said fast that that's talking about Day of Atonement. So then what has happened from there is they just don't misrepresented the whole chapter. No, what happened is in the chapter, he said, y'all fasted for these reasons,
but I want you to fast for these particular reasons. Once you fast for these particular reasons, then shalt thou call, and the Lord shall answer. Thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. And thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, the putting forth of the finger and speaking vanity. Go ahead, keep going. So he's saying now you need to do this too. Go ahead.
And if thou draw out thy soul to the humble, and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday.
Go ahead.
Noonday.
So he's saying, your darkness being at the noonday, he just saying you gonna shine so bright that even your worst day you shine bright. And he's saying in obscurity, you're gonna shine bright. You're gonna be a light unto the world. You're gonna be a lamp unto the world like you're supposed to be. If you do it in the proper capacity, as this chapter is saying, how you fast and look out for your brothers and your sisters. Go ahead, read verse 11.
And the Lord shall guide thee continually, and
satisfy thy soul
in the drought, and make fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like a watered garden, and like a spring of water, whose waters fail not. Okay, so skip down to verse 13. Watch what else he said. If you do this stuff, see, that's what this chapter is about. This chapter is not about saying that on the Day of Atonement you're not supposed to do your pleasures. That's what people have taken this scripture and misinterpreted. See, none of y'all even have misinterpreted it, so you didn't know what I'm talking about. But that's what people have done. But the chapter is showing you that, you know, when people are told to fast, or when people fast, they fast for this set of reasons. But the Lord wants you to fast for these sets of reasons. And here's your reward if you fast for these sets of reasons. Now he's about to go in this chapter to show you, here's your reward if you keep the Sabbath day right. Verse 13, go ahead. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. So this is how we're supposed to deal with the Sabbath day. And that's why, you know, we sitting here and we relax for a little hour, you know, get our little food on, and that's really why we get back into the book. Because it's a safety net. See, some people don't need to go home. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so, you know, even once we get a building, we'll be at the building. I'll probably be lounging somewhere until it get dark. You know what I'm saying? You know, I would study over probably because we got to keep the doors open just to give people who don't have that somewhere else the opportunity to continue to keep this day holy. You know, because you don't know what people hell they're going home to. You know, so that's why, you know, we're still here. You know. And then it says you're not supposed to be speaking your own words. So this is a safety net. You know, you're sitting up in here, you shouldn't be speaking your own words. You should still be. Now, you might have did it last night on the phone or whatever, but from the time that we got it crunked up here at basically 11, 12 o'clock, it's open here at 11. You know, 12 is when class starts. You can get here at 11. You don't have to wait till 12 to get here. You know, but once we open the doors, because we do pay for that time, y'all. So once we open the doors, you can come. And for that, for the most part, we riding on trying to keep the Sabbath day holy. You know what I'm saying? So if you sleep from the time the sun go down till you get up and you get ready and put your clothes on and you come to church, you probably did a good job of keeping the Sabbath day holy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the objective. You know what I'm saying? That's what we really trying to provide, is somewhere for you to keep the Sabbath day holy. Have a holy convocation, but keep it holy. And keeping it holy, it says, if you turn away your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your own pleasures on my holy day, that's football games. That's and don't play with me. Oh yeah, well, you know, I paid for my ticket in advance. Yeah, but everybody there working. So that's on a whole nother level. Besides the fact that, I mean, okay, yeah, I would love to go to the Albany State homecoming game that took place 3 Saturdays ago. I would have loved to, but it was on a Saturday. See, we are supposed to practice separating ourselves from the world on the Sabbath day. I'm sorry, I can't do it. They're trying to use excuses like, well, you know, you turning people away from the truth when you tell them you can't do something on the Sabbath. Well, I guess they don't want my truth. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what the Lord telling me now. Like, you're right. That's what you're like, really? That's what I'm turning them away from the truth because I tell them I can't do something on the Sabbath. They don't want this anyway. That's what the truth is, that we can't do this on the Sabbath. If we would have just kept the Lord's Sabbath day, we wouldn't even be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the one thing, man, as much as we could did all this other stuff we was doing, if we just would have kept the Lord's Sabbath day, he would have left us in the land. He would have dealt with us in the land. But we could, but we would have been able to stay there. Okay?
So he said, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight. So now he's saying that don't mean go party on the Sabbath, call it a delight. Saying enjoy the fact that this is how you deal with the Sabbath. Then he says, the holy of the Lord, that day is holy of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasures, nor speaking thy own words. Verse 14, go ahead.
Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord.
Uh-huh.
And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth.
So he's saying if you do this, now first he showed you first he showed you how you fast wrong. Then he said if you fast right, I'll make you a light into the world. Then he said, and by the way, if you keep the Sabbath day the way I'm telling you to keep it, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord. Go ahead.
And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth,
and
feed thee with the inheritance of Jacob, thy father. For the month of the Lord hath spoken it.
So to answer your question, brother, you know, I can't tell you that you can't have, you know, a drink going into the Sabbath. I'm not your guy to make that call. I'll tell you the scriptures tell us to be sober minded. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I can't say that's a pleasure for you. But I know one thing, it would definitely create a problem if I was to sit here and tell everybody in here, go drink a beer when the Sabbath crank up. Because a lot of people don't have a limitation, period. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we start talking about, you know, with me, I'm going to be direct. What is sin? I'm not going to say that this brother is sinning if, you know, he's drinking a wine cooler or, you know, drinking some, a little shot of Hennessy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I remember when my knee was when I had my knee surgery. About 10 years ago. You know, I didn't take the pain medicine they gave me. I don't really like the food with the stuff the doctors give you because I didn't want that codeine. You know, my family got addictive tendencies. So I didn't want to be, you know, like my uncle said, man, you can take this stuff, you don't know when you'll need it. But you're gonna still be taking it, you know, you're gonna be still steady taking it. So I'm like, man, I'm good. So I was drinking Crown Royal. That's what I drank. I go back to the doctor a week later, I told him, I said, I ain't taking the medicine. I was like, but I've been on that liquor like the whole week. He was like, you can take the pain? That was his response. Like, you could take the pain. I was like, yeah, the liquor did me just fine. So I wasn't drinking the liquor for pleasure that week. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was drinking it for pain relief. And it did work. Well, it kind of worked. You know what I mean? I would probably been going through a whole lot more pain had I not drank. You know, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It kind of worked. You know, but let's look at one more thing about this alcohol. Let's go to Proverbs real quick. I want us to see this though. I don't want us to get confused about what this liquor is about. You know, you know, and it's a lot in here. It's a lot in here about alcohol, for the good and for the bad. But I'm gonna read this if I can find it. Maybe somebody can help me. It's a scripture I found. Proverbs chapter 23. Proverbs 23. We're gonna start at verse 29. You know, alcohol is cool. I can tell you in the writings of Paul, when you feel your stomach impermanence. You know, sometimes some people have bad indigestion and gas. They say, you know, drink a little wine for your stomach impermanence. Doctor tell you a glass of wine a day is healthy for you, healthy for your heart, healthy for your blood. Jesus' first miracle was wine. So truly, I know he wasn't out here giving some poison. You know, so we're not gonna say that wine or alcohol is evil and or bad. But the abuse of wine and or alcohol, just like the abuse of food, just like the abuse of, you could be eating too much ice cream every Saturday. And then if you want to go in, you know, you buy you 6 gallons of ice cream, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? If you run through that type of ice cream, you got serious problems. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not. So there are more than just alcohol problems that you would have to deal with. Okay. So let's look at this Proverbs chapter 23, and let's start at verse 29. That is a lot of ice cream. Yeah. Fifth half of the toilet, too. All right. Proverbs 23 and 29. Go ahead.
Who have woe?
So this is a question. Who have woe? Go ahead.
Who have sorrow?
Who have sorrow? What else you gonna get? Go ahead.
Contention?
Who got contentions? Go ahead.
Who have babbling?
Who have babbling? This is a question. Who have all these things? Go ahead.
Who have wounds without cause?
Who got wounds without cause? I mean, you done ran into a wall for no reason. Go ahead.
Who have redness of eyes?
Who got redness of eyes? Go ahead.
They that tarry long at the wine.
Uh-huh.
They that go to seek mixed wine.
You see what he's saying here? You, the ones who tarry long, drinking too much of that wine. y'all gonna have some problems. You know, you're gonna have wounds without cause. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have, yeah, you're gonna be laughing like that. You're gonna have, like I said, you're gonna have some woe. You're gonna have some sorrow, contention. You know, like you get to drink, you always see, oh, they might be drunk. They over there fighting. They over there arguing. You see what I'm saying? So wine, it has its setbacks, but notice what it said. They that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine. Meaning, like when they say go to seek mixed wine, like that's what, like you always trying to drink. You the one with the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's telling you here. You always trying to get you seeking out all the time. Keep going.
Look not thou upon the wine when it is red, when it giveth his color in the cup, when it moveth itself upright.
Don't let that wine fool you. That's what he's saying. Don't look upon it. You know, like you don't get caught up in the wine. That's what he's telling you. Go ahead. Verse 32.
At the last it biteth like a serpent.
Because look what it'll do to you. It'll bite you. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you know, we say that too, so we get to drinking, man. And you be like, yeah, that happens, that crap up on me. Or that more wet. You know, that some of that stuff like that. You know, we be like, man, that stuff crap up on me. Yeah, I ain't even know I was tipsy. You know what I'm saying? Like you been sitting down drinking this and you get up, you're like, oh, you gotta take that look and say, I know. You know what I'm saying? I know. So it'll creep up on you. That's what's telling you here. He said, look not down upon the wine when it's red, when it give it his color in the cup, when it moves itself right. Don't underestimate this wine, y'all. You know what I'm saying? At the last, it bite like a serpent. That's what he's telling you. Like, it gonna get you. Go and what he said, and it sting like an adder. Go ahead.
Thy eyes shall behold strange women.
Notice what else he tell you. He like, oh, now your eyes get to looking at strange women. Whether we talking about physical or the spiritual, you don't need either one of them. Keep reading.
And thy heart shall utter perverse things.
And you're gonna be calling brother JD. Hey man, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to say that about you and your kids. I'm like, yeah, I know the alcohol talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying this is what it's talking about here. It said your mouth should perverse, other perverse things. Thy eyes should behold strange women, and your heart and your shall perverse other perverse things, wicked things. Go ahead.
Yea, thou shalt be as he that lieth down in the midst of the sea, or as he that lieth upon the top of a mast.
Go ahead.
They have stricken me. Shall thou say, I shall, and I was not sick?
So he's like, this how it be when you drink that wine. He like, man, I wasn't even sick. That's, you know, you waking up early. They have stricken me. They have stricken me, shall thou say, and I was not sick. Go ahead, keep reading.
They have beaten me.
And
I failed not.
Hey, I'm saying, this Solomon putting you on game. It's what that wine will do to you. Go ahead.
Where shall I await? I will seek it again.
Yeah, it's like, man, when you wake up, you finally realize what took place in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be right back at your same way. So be careful. Right. Be careful with that wine. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because wine can come with a gang of problems. Right. But to answer your question, I cannot say that you are sinning if I see you drinking, you know, a little wine at the start, or, you know, at something. I can't say that's sin. You see what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's not a pleasure for you. Like I say, some cultures, you know, they might drink a little wine with dinner every night. You know what I'm saying? You know, you go to France, they sell beer at McDonald's. You see what? Yeah, y'all know that. Y'all learned that in French class. They sell beer at McDonald's on tap.
In Germany.
Yeah. So I know they're doing it in France. They sell it on in tap. So I'm saying, you know, our culture has us in a certain type of mindset. So I'm not gonna put our culture's culture upon you to say that that's sin. You see what I'm saying? But I would say, be careful with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, be careful, because if I catch you drunk on a Sabbath day, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you after. You know, I'm hoping to be around that morning so I can bang the cymbals at you or something with your headache. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, hopefully that helped answer that a little bit. Bloody? What you mean? Is that a sin? I mean, you overindulge in anything. Yeah, the book scripture tell us to be temperate, man. To have temperance. So if it ain't just food though. You know what I'm saying? If you play too many video games, if you work too much, you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, he say, let's go where he tell us to be temperate real quick. Let's go to Peter real fast. You know, and really what he say is, it's about being fruitful. You know, but you know, people say what the 7 deadly sins and one of them is blood. You don't read that nowhere. It's 6 things of the Lord, hate, 7 are abomination. You know what I'm saying? You can read that somewhere, but you don't read the 6 deadly sins. And so, if you know, if Brother Nate eats 6 steaks, and he might that might be good for him, and 3 might be overdoing it for me. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, where's the number count now? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's it? Oh, so Brother Joseph, you on your 3rd steak now. You're a glutton now. You sin. You see what I'm saying? Like, sin when you break a law. You see what I'm saying? So where's the number count? Because it got to be equal across the board. You see, because Big Jeff, you know, he probably gonna eat a whole lot more strawberry shortcakes than me. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Because you gonna probably eat more than me. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So, you know, because you might eat an extra cookie. I'm not going to eat an extra cookie. Let's go to this Peter. Peter chapter 1.
Hey, you gotta watch out for those little ones, though.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, they wasn't eating cookies. 2 Peter chapter 1, pick it up at verse 4. This will be our last question for the day.
Whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having
2 Peter chapter 1, verse 4. That's what Brother Joseph had. Somebody heard it. 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 4. Whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises. Those exceeding great and precious promises is our salvation. That's what's been given unto us. That by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to escape the corruption of the world. Then read the next verse. Go ahead.
And beside this, given all diligence.
So besides that part, that you didn't escape the corruption of the world, now give all diligence or work hard to do what?
Add to your faith virtue.
So we got to add to your faith a level of goodness. So it's not just so much that we keep the commandments, but that you do for others. You're a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should be said about you. That's virtue. Go ahead.
And to virtue knowledge.
And then we're not dumb servants of God. You continue to add to yourself knowledge. Go ahead.
And to knowledge temperance.
Temperance is where we start talking about overindulgence. Temperance is everything level for you. Never too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I rule my wife, I rule over my wife, but never too much. You follow what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense for me to come in the house yelling at you like I'm crazy. Because that, you know, a woman offended or a man offended is hard to do under the chief city. You know what I'm saying? So I'm temperate at that. So, oh yeah, well, you wrecked the car, okay, I can stay calm. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm temperate. Oh, well, I done had enough to eat. I'm not gonna overeat. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, we supposed to eat to live, not live to eat. You know, that's just a saying. You know, so what the point is, you got to learn to be temperate. Then once you learn to be temperate, what do you have next? Go ahead.
And to temperance, patience.
So then, and patience. You know, so you ain't starving. You know how those little kids be like, no, I'm starving. You ain't starving. You're ready to be starving. When we see something starving, we're gonna turn on Ethiopian with the fat devils, with the flies all around them that be on TV. Now that look like starving. See, you look like them, you ain't starving. You just hungry, just want something to eat. But go ahead.
And to patience, godliness. And to godliness, brotherly kindness.
Go ahead.
And to brotherly kindness, charity.
So these are the levels and the moves that we're supposed to be increasing upon ourselves. Go ahead.
For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ.
But he that lacketh
these things is blind and cannot see afar off, and have forgotten that he was purged from his old sin.
Go ahead.
Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall.
So, you know, eating too much, that's a part of you being diligent. That's part of you being temperate. You know what I'm saying? So you want to have a level of temperance. But we talked about this in Philadelphia, where somebody was trying to like make their wife seem like they was a pig, and I guess they brought it to me. And I'm like, well, so what? What level of? Cause my wife eat more than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she been eating more than me for some years now. And she eats slower, but she eats more. You know what I'm saying? But who am I to say you pigging though? Like that, she ain't pigging. Her metabolism is higher. That's her body. She can eat more. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't hardly eat that much. You dig what I'm saying? Like I created that in my mind where I don't need to eat as much as I used to eat. You dig what I'm saying? So then, is she sinning because she on a second helping of macaroni and cheese and I don't? So nah, being a glutton, it's not so much the sin. It's just stupidity, really.
So you heard about the 7 deadly sins?
Yeah.
What they need that? Like
Catholicism.
Okay, because I was dealing with a chick. He's
Catholic.
trying to pull out the Bible. I was like, I never said that.
Nah, you ain't gonna find no 7 deadly sins in the scriptures.
More than 7 things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and stand face Jerusalem. If you got any more questions, y'all should have my phone number, my Facebook page, something like that. You can call me, Brother Lodge, number 312-296-70. What is it? I give you the rest of it if you need. Brother Nate standing right there. He got look at it. We got other ways. 8974. That's the rest of the number. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Yep, ready.
Our Father which art in heaven.
Our Father which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth as it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we give our debtors.
As we give our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory. Forever.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
The Holy One of Israel.
The Holy One of Israel.
King of kings.
King of kings.
Lord of lords.
And Lord of lords.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen. I'm sorry, man. It was still, man. And don't forget, y'all, the Bible in Plain View tomorrow at 6 o'clock, live on YouTube. And then on Tuesdays at 3 o'clock, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock, you'll be able to watch Thy Kingdom Come on AIB. At my crib is channel 6. But I don't know. You have to look through the guide and see if you got cable. It's on the internet.
Take a look for me.
Yeah, AIB got internet back.
I mean, they playing like replay. Yeah, okay.
My bad. I know, right? His daddy played them. He said you ain't gotta sing no more gospel songs. Sabbath over with.
I'm trying to stay focused the whole time. Like Jake said.
I want to know that. I want to know that Alabama win that football game today.
They started at 4. They're not done yet.
Are they ain't done yet?
They started at 4.
Oh, okay. Alabama. Don't forget they at 11 o'clock. They're pretty on fire.
No, I was thinking they never won.
You ain't made no more red velvet.
But that worked out good, and then they played yeah, but I know. Hey, I'm gonna be
So she said my friend, she said my friend request. MT, I was like, she ain't my friend. Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, tomorrow it'll be one on the internet.